Hello again. Welcome to the analysis of A Silent Song and Other Stories, an anthology of short stories edited by Godwin Siundu. My name is Edwin Nyongesa. We are moving on to story number 13, Boyi by Gloria Mwaniga from Kenya. Now, this is the second last story. Remember, there are 14 stories here. One of them was tested last year. God sees the truth, but wait. So we are moving on to story number 13. And if you want to support us, please subscribe. It will help to push the content to more people. On to it. Boyi is a story, and Mwaniga is a Kenyan story. So this is a Kenyan story which has some touch of truth in it. It's almost like a historical kind of story written by Gloria Mwaniga. So this is a story that revolves around land disputes, machinations, and the impact of the militia on individuals and society at large. The story is set in modern-day Kenya in Mount Elgon sub-county, Bungoma County, and it highlights the plight associated with the land dispute, the pain people have to go through as a result of militia operations. Through the voice of our narrator, a girl who is our narrator, we are confronted with the picture of Boyi, a young boy of 15 years that's being handed over to the leader of the militia by his father. The leader of the militia is called Matwake. He's being handed over to the leader of militia because apparently his father failed to pay protection fee and also for apparently being a traitor. Handing over of Boyi to the militia drastically affects the narrator's mother, referred to as Mama or Mama in the text. It was as if fire ants had invaded her body. She tore off her kitenge headscarf and shouted at Baba for handing over their son to the militia. But there's also evidence that the militia had recruited other children for the operation. So what is Gloria Mwaniga trying to front to we as the readers and reviewers of this short story? War and its effects on the people. Displacements, death, psychological torture or turmoil, and all that. That is what Gloria Mwaniga is trying to point out in this interesting short story. But we are told that Baba did not have a choice. That is Boyi's father and the narrator's father. He did not have a choice. The militia are cruel. We are told that they would chop off the heads of whole families if they were not given money. They would carry fresh heads like trophies and hang them on trees. So according to Baba's friend Chesober, who is a teacher at Chepkurkur Primary, the militia had a long list of all those people that had aided the government to subdivide the land and give them to the strangers. And this is the bone of contention of the militia. They want to protect their land against strangers and their people, their own relatives, their own kin, who have aided the government in subdividing the land and giving them to the strangers. So they began an operation apparently to protect their land. And that is where that's what this story revolves about. So we are told that Baba had lent a panga and makonge ropes to the government surveyors. And the militia have instilled fear into the people. People operate with fear. And so precisely Baba had to pay 30,000 betrayal fee and 10,000 protection fee, totaling up to 40,000. But he did not have this amount, and that's the reason why he's handing Boyi over to them as he looks for that money. But handing over Boyi to the militia drastically and psychologically affects Mama. She fails to reply to greetings. In the morning when the narrator tries to say Vuche, she does not reply. She sits without even looking up. She screams over meals in the weeks that followed. She behaves like she's been possessed, like she had gone mad, and this is because of her eldest son, Boyi, who had been handed over to the militia. And often she would even remember that Boyi had saved her marriage by confirming her womb had not been tied by genies. So this is belief in superstitions. Now, because of these excesses, because of what the militia are doing, the excesses, the government decides that enough is enough, and it launches an operation called Operation Okoa Maisha to flush out the militia by sending a troop of 200 armed forces in order to bring normalcy to this particular region, which I've told you it's alluded to as Mount Elgon. Baba and his cousin Kimtai, they bury a banana stem symbolically to ward off death. But Mama does not. No, Mama she's been affected so much, but she does not participate in this ritual. She says she will not participate in escorting Boyi's spirit away. And at this point, Mama is so affected that she will not even touch her food. She does not even eat. So look at the psychological torture that this woman has to go through because of the loss or because of handing over of her son to the militia, knowing very well what the militia will do to him, that is the son. And we are told that even her ugali remained untouched until a crusty brown film formed on it. She would also engage in endless monologues, her thoughts on her son Boyi. So this is what happens because of the machinations and because of the militias. So people are really, really affected by them. And we also told that the militias affected their own people under the guise of protecting them. These people began under the pretext that they are going to protect the people from strangers who want to invade their land. Along the way, they have changed the tact and they are now attacking everyone, killing everyone, including their own king and kith. We are told that they even steal crops from shambas and the goats from the pens. It had become impossible to work, so people just sit by and watch the operation go on, Operation Okoa Maisha. And at the moment, the militia were known to cut up people. They would cut up people. Look at the cruelty. They cut up people and throw their bodies in rivers, in pit latrines, in public wells, and what have you. They will also go from house to forcefully recruit boys as young as 10. So small children are being forced into the militia as young as 10 years. And remember, Boyi is only 15 years. These are children who should probably be in school, but they're being recruited into the militia. And what is more, those who get recruited had to go back home. When you get recruited in the militia, you go back home and kill a close relative so that your heart becomes strong to kill others. So it is the militia are wreaking havoc on the people. You kill your own close relative to prove that your heart is strong enough to kill others. And even look at what Baba says, that war is a maggot that nibbles and nibbles at the hearts of men. It has affected them. They are killing their own kids and so on. Now, apart from killing and what have you, we also have another effect of war that is being fronted by Gloria Mwaniga. That is displacements. There are many people who get displaced because of this war. Remember, we have lost some people in this war. Some activities have been affected and disrupted, rather. And we also now are moving on to the fact that there are displacements as a result of these militia operations. Now, many residents are forced into a mass exodus. Many people, mass exodus to Bungoma and even to Uganda to escape the militia's cruelty. And then there's fear all over villages such as Kopsiros, Romed, Chepiuk, Chelebei, and no one understood the mind of the militia anymore. Their own people that are supposed to be protected do not understand their operation and their mind anymore. The militia now started targeting young girls, taking them to go and cook for them. There's rape. We are told they will rape their own even relatives and stuff like that. And then he also told that River Cheptar Barbar was scarlet with fresh blood from the floating human heads. And nobody went to school. So because people are supposed to be in school, the kids are supposed to be in school, have been recruited in the militia to fight, to cook, and all that. And Every activity has been disrupted. So nobody went to school anymore. And so the narrator spent her days under the Nandi flame tree with half closed eyes. And then we are told that there's a guy called Chesaina, a long friend of Baba, who brings news that Boyi was now a marked man. Remember, Boyi was handed over to the militia. The leader of the militia, Matwake, because his father, Baba, could not afford to pay for land protection fee and betrayal fee, totaling up to 40,000. And so now news is being brought in by Chesaina that Boyi was now a marked man because he was now Matake's right-hand man. He had been elevated to the level of being the right-hand man of the leader of the militia. And Mama is dumbfounded by the news. The narrator cannot even find her tongue to respond to what Chesaina is saying. And that night, she sleeps in Boyi's bed. And in a premonition, she has a dream. And even furthermore, what is considered to be a bad omen, thunder strikes and a bolt of lightning shatters the huge non-flame tree. This is a pointer towards a bad omen. Maybe something bad is about to happen. And the next morning, true to her dream and the premonition she had, Simone handed the narrator a copy of the Nation newspaper that had details of how Boyi had been killed. So Boyi is killed, direct casualty of this war. He was hoisted to the aircraft, and when it ascended up, he was shoved out with no parachute. And Baba is so annoyed that he throws his transistor radio and the Nation newspaper in the almost full pit latrine outside. And this is the story of Boyi, how Boyi got recruited in the militia, what the militia is doing to the people. Major focus actually is on the effect of the militia on its own people, what they do, how they disrupt everything, schooling, normal life, people working, we have death, we have direct casualties such as Boyi here that you have seen dies in the process because of the operation by the national government through the armed forces. Possible KCC questions. Number 1, war knows no friends or bounds. And then you write your essay. Then number 2, militia groups lead to suffering of the innocent. Basing your argument on Gloria Mwaniga's Boyi, write your essay. When you are told to give the effects of war, these are the direct effects of war, which of course we gather from the short story, that people get displaced, people are affected psychologically. Look at the narrator herself. Look at how she is affected because of her brother's absence. Look at how even the mother almost goes mad, does not eat. So look at those effects. Look at the direct effect of disruption of activities, normal activities. People live in fear. Another direct impact of war is that people live in great fear. There's fear everywhere. You don't know who is going to be killed next. You don't know what is going to happen next. People did not understand what was on the mind of the militia. And there was forceful recruitment of children actually to participate in the war and so on. So those are some of the effects that you can bring them out. And also the same to suffering, how people are suffering. Of course, when you die, people are going to suffer. When you disappear, people suffer psychologically and all that. So please, in case they ask you to write an essay from Boyi by Gloria Mwaniga, you should be in a position to point out those finer details. Give the very finer details so that you can score highly. So if you like this content and you want to support us, please subscribe. It will also help to push it to more people, and this will help us to grow. That is it for today. Until next time, bye.